people that came over here were European descent. Before that, there were people that came over here that were of some sort of Pacific descent, South American descent, or Siberian descent, right? Nobody in the United States is native to this country. That whole nonsense of Native Americans, you don't say, hey, before we called it America, you still were Native Americans, or you're Indians. You're not. There's no such thing as a native person. There is not. I mean, everybody in this country migrated here from, they immigrated. They walked over the borders into this so-called country that we live in. Nobody was actually coming out of the dirt and saying, yeah, I was born in the dirt here, so I'm an American. Welcome, everyone. This is Mike from Verity Daily. I'm out to earn your subscription. If you find value in this video, if you would, make a thumbs up, share this video on your social media platforms with your friends, your family, your neighbors, anybody you come in contact. I appreciate it. It helps my ego. Let's get into this video. So I don't know about you. Everybody is in the same box, right? We're in this, well, it's not actually a box, it's a sphere, and everybody is exactly the same person, right? We don't look different. We don't wear different clothes. Everybody, there's no such thing as a different, everybody's human. We're all the same, correct? I don't believe that. I believe, just like I raised 7 children, that everybody in my family is totally different. They have their own personality, okay? They're either XY or XX chromosome. Their interests are different. Their personality, their looks are different, okay? So, and if you take that out of you say everybody's the same, is nonsense, right? So I have a huge problem with how people drive. It's generally, I don't care about people that are speeding. It's far and few between people that speed. It's more often that I run into people that are driving slower than the speed limit, okay? And I don't know what that means. If I see a sign that says 45 and somebody's going 40, they should have a ticket written for them. You don't go in the passing lane at 40 miles an hour and everybody to go around you in the slower lane because you feel it's necessary to stay in that lane and not get over. It gets me to no end. I don't care. I don't want you to speed. Go what the sign says, 45, right? Don't go 40. Don't go 40 where I have to go around you, right? Generally, where I'm from is that the right lane is to turn right. We're correct? I mean, if you generally, the traffic goes on the right in one direction. There's 2 lanes most of the time. One's for people that do not want to keep stopping because somebody's going to turn into a local business. And that other lane is for people that want to go that speed limit. So it's at 45, drive 45. Okay? This is my huge deal, right? You don't go 40 in that lane. You move over and you go 40 in that lane and let everybody that wants to go 45 in that lane. Okay? That's how it works. I know you guys didn't want that, but it's one of them things that every day it kind of pisses me off. So I just share that. Okay? So if you find value in that comment, I want to know how you guys feel, because it seems to me that it happens all the time. I can't get 2 minutes from home and I have to go around somebody that's doing it. So if this is something that irks you, pisses you right off, leave it what your comment is. Show me the example that you have so I don't feel like I'm the only one. So let's jump into this whole mess of a nonsense that came about through this article. Says the Biden administration rules that white men and Christians not allowed to be hired for the State Department. Okay. So listen, I know that if you're a woman, if you're black, or if you're Asian, or if you're Middle Eastern, or whatever nationality you are, everybody's different, correct? And we're not supposed to be looking at the color of people's skin or where their country of origin is from. You know, what my understanding is that people from that region, like if you go to China, China doesn't allow their borders to be open to any type of other race. China hates black people, at least not maybe a lot of the individual, but the government themselves. They do not like blacks. Okay. They do not like people of religion. They don't like Christians, Muslims, anybody else. That is not preferred. No religion. It's done. Okay. Japan doesn't allow their borders open to any other cultures besides Japanese. Correct? Now, I'm sure there's Russians, they don't prefer any other people other than Russians in Russia, right? If you're white, you're fine. You're allowed that, okay? A lot of we're finding in African countries is that if you're black, that's where you are. You're black, right? If you're in South America, you're of that descent, right? I mean, it's just it's how that melting area works, right? Now, here in the United States, I'm going all the way around, okay, and coming in the other end, right? So here in the United States, the whole misnomer that there's such thing as a Native American. Nobody is native to America, United States, this area of ground that we live on. Nobody is native to it. People just didn't grow out of the ground in the soil, so that makes them, own this country, right? Everybody that came into the United States is from another area of the world, right? Now they say a lot of Native Americans, if you want to call them that. They're not Indians. They're not Native Americans because they're just individuals, right? I don't know what indigenous people. I don't know what you want to call them to give them the right, correct name. They came from Siberia through the land bridge back whenever that was. They came from the northern area of the eastern part of the North American continent. They say that a lot of them came from way up in the Nordic countries. I don't know. Some of them could have been coming from South America or God knows wherever. I mean, they took a ship from the Pacific Islands or whatever and came over here. I don't know. What I'm saying is nobody came out of the dirt here. Nobody is originally from this country. You can date it back however far you want. Nobody just came out of the ground and said, you know what, I'm part of the dirt here. I'm original. Nobody did. So to get over the nonsense that a certain group of people own this country is pure nonsense. Okay. And I don't have a problem with people from other areas of the world coming over here, but every area of the world has laws. And our country has a law that when you come to this country, you have to seek, asylum. You have to get certain papers to make you a legal American citizen. It's like that no matter where you go in the world. You can't just go over to, let's say, China or Russia or I don't know, wherever and say, hey, I'm a Russian. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to file papers, get approval, get all your necessary documents, and then you're a Russian, correct? So in the United States, we have laws the same way. You can't just be an American citizen. I don't have any problem if you want to come over here and do it all that way. Listen, I was born here. I'm an American. I don't care what my cultural heritage tells me that I am. And I don't necessarily, I'm not white. I mean, I might be an off blending of white, right? And most black people are not black. They're of color, right? Everybody's a color. White's a color, black's a color, Asians of color, Middle Easterns of color, India's a color. I mean, I think most Indians are blacker than people from India are more black than black people are, right? Their hair is just straight and they have more of a European look to them, right? I mean, South African people have African features. Europeans have European feature, Asian. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying that. It's just how it is. I mean, you can't say, the sky is blue and deny that it's actually green. It's not. I mean, there's certain facts. It's not to level it, hey, that's a criticism. Take it in stride, right? If you're a man, be, happy that you're a man. If you come from Asia, be happy that you're, from that descent, right? I don't care. This whole thing that we have to say that, oh, that's wrong because we're certain descent. No, I'm an American. Okay. I don't know about any other countries my forefathers came from. I don't know any of that. All I know is where I was born in the country that I live in. Actually, I can say I'm from my certain area because I was born in that certain area, right? I don't know about being born in California or Alaska or anything else, right? Just because it falls in the United States, even the whole state itself, even the city or the neighborhood or the street you're born on defines you more than a country that you supposedly are a part of, right? So let's get back to this gal and me just going on with nonsense. Anyway, this gal right here is the head of the Department for Diversity, and they label it diversity, right? I don't know what that means. I guess, you're going to hire people. Okay. She's on the Senate let's see. That was Ted Cruz. This woman, Abercrombie Winstanley, at the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I looked over this before. She's a State Department. She's in charge of hiring of diversity hiring. So she's they don't really label. I looked into this earlier, and I'm sorry, but anyway, so she's this gal here is in charge of the diversity in the State Department in Biden's administration. Let's do it that way. So she says, rules seem to outline state. Okay. This is Senator Cruz. Take him for what you want. It says, here's his point. She was asked a question that the person not being of the right religion pertains to Christian. He pressed on if she is aware that their hiring practices are allegedly occurring in the State Department, which she responded. This is what this woman says. Senator, I can't commit. I do not know who that's from. She said, I never seen that before. Okay, so let me tell you something. This happens and it's got to stop. So people should be called out from it. Now, if I was in position of Mr. Cruz here, this is what I would say. You're a damn liar. You are head of that department. You should know what's going on for everything that happens, from hiring to anybody that misspeaks. You are totally responsible. Listen, I spent years and years and years as a restaurant owner, as a contractor, as a building developer in real estate. This is what happens. I went before a judge before on a complaint that wasn't an issue to me. And maybe another time that I can relay this. This woman came and filed suit against me, correct? So when I was in there and I was explaining my point of view, the judge stopped me and said, Mr. Serra, you are fully responsible for no matter what happens in your business. You are the one that is responsible. It's not the labor. It's not a third-party contractor. It's not, the street maintenance. It's not somebody walking down your street. It's not the suppliers, the materials, anything. You are ultimately responsible for whatever happens in your business. So this is no different. I don't care what the President of the United States, You do not pass the buck. This guy came out and said, oh, Trump, you never take a blame. And he doesn't. Trump, always passes the buck. But Biden's the same way. Oh, it's the Russians' problem. Oh, it's Ukraine's problem. Oh, it's China's problem. Whatever. No, inflation is your problem. You could stop it today. You could take Congress, quit with all these stupid gun laws, quit with all this diversity crap, quit with all giving money to every organization you can lay your eyes on, and get down to it and find out everything that we can make businesses be more productive and bring their costs down and pass that law, right? So every American can feel it. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. This is bullcrap. You can't tell me that all these people making all these stupid laws and just keep adding to the books, they can't find a reason. I don't know. I mean, the reason why these prices are so high, let's make it easier for farmers to do their job and make it cheaper on them so they could pass the cost savings to us, right? So let's pass a law doing that. Whatever, farm field credit, whatever act. I don't care what do you want to call it. If it's Joe Schmo's business, don't make so many regulations on him that he's strangled by them. And he's saying, I'm going to make money. I'm going to charge everybody this. It gets to be nonsense, right? It's the legislation. It's the legislators, and it's the president's issue. He is ultimately responsible, not the people as handlers, not anybody. This woman could say, listen, I have been put in this position by the president of the United States. Whether he took another party to hire me, I was put in this position, and I was told, you do not hire any white dudes, and if they're Christians, tell them don't apply here. That's what I was told. And that's what I'm doing. If you don't like it, you take it up with the president yourself, or you get his ass in here and you ask him that damn question. That's what I would have said if I was her. Okay? I wouldn't have passed his stupid bucks with this lie. That is a bull-faced lie, what she said. It's a bull-faced lie. I never seen that before. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is the go-to phrase that all these people brought before members of Congress to ask questions, to find out what committee, what hearing, whatever they're doing with their time, to ask these stupid questions. And people reply like, dang, I don't know. I mean, what time do you wake up in the morning? I don't know. What'd you have for breakfast? I don't know. It's not my responsibility. I mean, it should just appear in front of me. I asked for eggs and bacon, right? And have no idea why it's not there. I don't know. I just went to work. I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I got here. I don't know where I'm at, actually. I mean, what is it? What's your name again? I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to do with the living. I don't know what kind of clothes I am. Am I a man or a woman? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, is this a chair, a desk? Is this a building? Am I breathing air? I have no idea. What am I supposed to be doing after this? Nobody told me that. Never seen it before. Never came in this room before. I don't even know who you are. I mean, where am I at? What planet is this? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to do that wherever I ask. Somebody asked me a question like, going to, apply for whatever and say, Mr. Sarah, are you talking to me? Is that my name? I don't know. I have no idea. Can you fill out this form? What's a form? I have no idea. I have no idea what a form is. I don't. Okay, so if you don't know what a form is, what are you doing here? I have no idea. I don't even know how I got in here. Just kind of, I don't know. Yeah, do you know where you are, Mr. Terry? Do you need some help? Help? For what? I have no idea what you're talking about. What's help? I don't know what help is. I have no idea. I have no idea. Mr. Sarah, can you please leave? What? Leave? What's that? I have no idea what leave is. No idea. You'd be hauled off. You'd be hauled off. Somebody would come get you and you would say, are you touching me? What is touching? I mean, you can go down and take any form and just say, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing here. None. What do you mean? I don't have any idea. And you get on the road and it's like, I'm sorry, officer. I have no idea. You know you were speeding? I have no idea. What's speeding? No idea. None. Now, what are you doing on the road? I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even know where I'm going. What's going? I have no idea. You could take this to a stupid infinite, right? Senator, I cannot comment. I don't know where that's from. This is me. If I was Cruz, I would say, ma'am, that's a bold-faced lie. You are lying. You are lying. And I'm going to make a record on the record right now. You are lying. You're a liar. And we're done here. You can leave. That's what I would have said. End of hearing, end of with you. Get up, get out of my court, wherever they're at. And we're done with you. You're a liar. I can't go any further because you're not going to tell me the truth. That's what I would have said. Now, as far as them hiring white people, not hiring white men, okay, we're going to see how far you know what? This is so discriminatory. This is so racist for the Biden administration and all these this is meant on purpose. You could see through this. You could see this coming from 2 miles away, right? This is for all you people that think I'm nonsense. This is bull crap. This is a lie. This is racist because these people know that by putting people that are not responsible, they're just said white people. Don't go to the blacks or whatever. They could be anybody. They could be gerbil. I don't care. But if you put somebody in a position, they have no idea how to type. They don't know how to write. They don't know what direction they're coming from. I don't care. I'm not insulting anybody. But you can't put a person okay, we're not going to hire any more white men, even though white men go to school for whatever they want to do, but we're going to hire some other race to work on a nuclear reactor, and they have no idea what they're doing. You want that person doing that? How about flying a plane? How about driving a bus? How about putting street signs up or working on traffic? They have no idea what goes into that. Listen, I don't care what aspect of field that you go to college for. It's just repetition. That's all you're taught is repetition. You're taught to put this and that or do this to that, the outcomes, right? Whatever field is that, go just name anything. Everything has a law. You follow this, you learn that, you got that learning curve, right? I don't care. You could go to work today and not have any idea what you're doing. And I would guarantee you by the end of the year, you would be pretty good at what you did. I don't care what it is. It's just repetition. It's the same thing day in, day out, year after year after year. You do the same thing. Okay. And anybody could put in that position. So to say that right off the bat, we're going to put somebody in the engineering field and they're going to know what they're doing. They're going to make their learning curve is going to be so huge because they're not used to that repetition. Now it's different than, hey, dude, here's a shovel and dig a hole. That dude, you could show him, listen, you take this shovel, this spade shovel, and you jump on one end of it and you tilt it backwards and you fling the dirt over your head. How long does that take? 30 seconds? But if you're going to teach somebody nuclear physics, they have to learn that, and it takes them quite a long time to learn that repetition. Okay. But anybody could do it if they were generally inquired. They were generally of that mindset that they were so interested in that field that that's what they wanted to do. Correct? Now, listen, you don't hire somebody no matter what color of their skin, what culture they came from, wherever. Now, I know that, and I said this before, that there's a reason why people look similar, they speak similar, because they come from that area of the world, their culture. All right. So in the United States, we have a culture that we are mixed. We're Americans. There are so many mixed cultures. You know, a lot of people want to get on, they don't like this race or do whatever. People that came over here were European descent. Before that, there were people that came over here that were of some sort of Pacific descent, South American descent, or Siberian descent, right? Nobody in the United States is native to this country. That whole nonsense of Native Americans, you don't say, hey, before we called it America, you're still were Native Americans or you're Indians. You're not. There's no such thing as a native person. There is not. I mean, everybody in this country migrated here from they immigrated. They walked over the borders into this so-called country that we live in. Nobody was actually coming out of the dirt and saying, yeah, I was born in the dirt here, so I'm an American, right? And even that term American, I don't know that I wasn't born in Alaska or New Mexico or Florida, wherever. Where I was born, you could even take the state, you could break it down to the city, you can break it down to the street. That's where you were raised, that's where you grew up on. You might, different parts of the city. You got the north, the west, the east, and the south, or whatever. A lot of people don't know that area, right? So they only know that the small area that they were raised in. So my point going all the way around and coming in the back way is to say this, that you don't say that a certain race, that's blinded when you hire somebody. You look at their work history, you look at what they know, the recommendations, and you say you're hired. And then you bring that dude in and you say, wow, man, you're Portuguese or you're Brazilian or you're Asian or you're black or white or whatever. I don't know. That's people should walk in there and not see the person at all. Okay. A lot of times, even the way you speak gives away what nationality you are, what culture you were brought up in. It should be just send here my form. Look, this is what I do. Okay, you're hired. Now come in. I want to meet you. Right. And they walk in the door and think, oh, that's a white man and he's a Christian. You're not hired. You know what I mean? This is just, that's how easy it should be. If they want to make it higher in that way, whatever. You don't put what chromosome you are. You don't put anything about yourself. I mean, if somebody was smart enough, they could look and say, oh yeah, I can, I see where this dude, he went to this university, went to this high school. He was in this area. Yeah, I can look in there and find out more about it if they really wanted to look at. But when you're hired for some position, you walk in there, I don't care if you're an auto mechanic, say, I want a job here, sir. I want to apply for the mechanic's job. Well, what kind of work history do you have? Well, I'm a CPA. And the dude would look at it, he's like, okay, why are you here for a mechanic? Why don't you go get, do some bookwork somewhere? Well, I want to be a mechanic. Dude, no, we're not interested. Oh, you're going to look at me because I'm a white man and I'm a Christian. No, dude, I'm looking at you because you have no idea what you're going to do. I'm going to put you in front of this. What kind of car is that? What is kind of, I don't know what kind of car it is. Well, then how can you work here? Right? You can't work here. Dude, listen, you just can't. You don't have any idea what you're doing. Why don't you go to school or go to trade class somewhere or go get your own cars and do your own research and then come back here when you figure it out. And then maybe I might think about hiring. But I can't do it. Now, would you look at that owner or that HR guy and say he's racist or he's not hiring enough diversity in his field? I mean, this lady to come out and say, I don't know about, they're obviously, the Biden administration came out and said, no, do not hire any more white men and don't hire any Christians. You're not wanted here. I've seen this before in one other article that I read that said, I don't care if we got to go into the pool of people that are not educated in this area, we're hiring them. We're no more hiring white men, and we're not hiring any Christians. This is not the only article that I read. It's just enough. It's getting to be, and especially for the government to do this, is nonsense. Okay, and certain, women, they want to be in a specific field that they feel comfortable with. Same with men. Okay, now if you look at the majority of roofers, 99.9% of them are men. Right? For whatever reason. I have no idea. It's not a sexist thing. Women just don't apply for the job. They don't want to do that type of work. But you go into an area like an office clerk job. I went and got my eyes tested the other day. 100%. Everyone that worked there, even the doctors, were all women. Every one of them. But I'm going to tell them, hey, you know what? You need to hire more dudes here. Okay? Just simple as that. Well, they're not applying here. Well, go out and just hire somebody who walks down the street. Hire them because they're a dude, right? Women, it's so ridiculous. Don't make laws and judgments because there's not enough people filling them positions. Now, if you want to hire a certain group of people because of their culture or where they live or what they speak or what they look like or the color of their skin, then work with the families. That's how people learn stuff, right? You know, the mother and the dad, they teach their kid, you know, the responsibilities, you know, that old fashioned stuff that we learned, we were supposed to be learning, that there's supposed to be a man and a woman in the household to teach the child how to raise them and to be productive men in society. You can get off on all this gay stuff or whatever you want to do. I don't know. I'm just saying, this is the way it was for thousands and thousands of years, right? You'd have a community of people. They would work with an individual. And, you know, just like if you want to go to Native Americans, they would teach their young men how to be braves, how to go out and hunt or whatever. You didn't see the women out there running around. I mean, there could have been. I'm not saying there wasn't. What I'm saying is the majority of the pictures you see on all these little posters and stuff back in the day was the dudes out there with spears or guns, and they were shooting buffalo, and they would bring them back, and the women would, you know, do their business, and they would sew and make cloths for the dudes. And it's just the way. I mean, you can look at it racist, or genderism or phobics or whatever you want to look at. That's just how things were done, right? Now, we live in a society now is because anybody can do anything they want because technology has brought us to that position. So, you know, you go into progressiveness, right? So if something happened, something major like a EMP or something that just devastated our society, what would actually, you think about it, what would actually happen? It would be one of them points where the gifted, the strong would survive. It happens in the wild. It happens in nature. I do a lot of gardening, right? And I even raise chickens. And I know that if you put a flock of chickens together and you got 4, 5, 6 roosters, eventually the dominant rooster is going to be in charge. He's going to walk around and he's going to pummel anyone that tries to take over his territory. The same with the plant life. You got a certain plant. I don't care if you call it a weed. A weed just means it could be anything. It's not desirable. It could be whatever you're growing it's not desirable. That undesirable plant could take over what you wanted and eventually kill that what you wanted to grow and pummel it, right? It's in nature. It's ingrained in all of nature, including humans. And if you put a certain specific group of people that train to understand whatever, they're going to be the dominant ruling. I don't care. You go back to the basics, and that's how it is. We're just fortunate enough to live in a society in a time where technology has brought us almost all on an equal plane. So my only point with this is that this is getting to the point where now they're after white men and Christians, and it's the Civil Rights Act. What was it, 1965? You know, you can't hire people because of the color of their skin. They're actually doing this. You know what the crazy thing about this? Even though this gal is black, I mean, by the color of her skin, she's got that position because obviously, whatever reason, she probably worked in there, she went to school, yada, yada, yada. But majority of the people that are making these stupid decisions are actually white men or white women. They're white, okay? And they're telling not the white. I mean, I notice a lot of these people that come out with racist, you know, white people are bad, but they're white. They're actually white people saying this. And it's kind of silly from hearing them because You get out of your job then. Quit talking. Go home. Sit in the corner and suck your thumb. You're done with your job because you're white. But they want everybody else to say, we're not hiring any more white people, but I'm keeping my job. I'm keeping my job. So if you actually looked at this and opened your eyes to actually what's going on, it's complete nonsense. And if you call me racist, you're the racist, okay? Because that's how that works. If you're calling anybody else anything, then you are that way. That's how it works. So if you're calling me a racist, you're the racist. I don't care. If when I hired people, and I hired from all nationalities and cultures, I hired the people that they might not have known what to do, but they were capable of learning. That's it. I didn't care. I wanted to get the job done. It's what I had to do. It was my job. Like the judge told me, Mike, you're ultimately responsible for what goes on here. And that's all I wanted. I wanted my income, take care of my family, hired the people that I thought would get me to that point. End of subject. End of subject. So you guys have a great day. I hope you found value in this video. If you would, please comment on anything that you heard, whether you like it or not. Share this video with your friend. Make it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Like it. Share it with everybody you know. Put it on your social media, and I would appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye now.
I'm on the run, I've got no alibi for what I've done. Took what you treasure and I'm never gonna give it up. I left these empty streets and hide within the shadows. You think I'm low, but